Coach, we're heading into the SEC championships this weekend. Can you tell us your game plan for this upcoming championship?
Just try to win. Feel like we put a good lineup together, the best we can. Our kids are going to pull double duty, no question about that. Whether it's in the sprints or the distance races, it's all hands on deck, and get a rare opportunity for a second Triple Crown. But we also know that after what you saw with the indoor championships, there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of programs that have really elevated themselves, which is awesome. Ultimately for the conference. Maybe not so great for us, but really some programs coming on really strong, and really there's a lot of depth, more depth than I've ever seen it in the SEC, and we got our hands full. It's going to take every point that we can garner to try to pull this thing off.
Who do you see as the big competition in the team race?
Well, I think the new kid on the block is Alabama. They gave us a real hard push there right at the end of the indoor championship. As you know, you add 5 events from indoor to outdoor track. And so it really favors, the sprints and the throws. And so we've done good work in that particular area, especially in the 400 hurdles with Kamara coming on like he has. But you throw in the hammer throw, the javelin, and the discus, and as you know, our DNA is not in the throws, and so that gives a huge advantage to Alabama, Georgia, some of those specialty schools that do a really good job, Mississippi that do a really good job in the throws. So, we're just going to have to overcome that.
How much head-to-head do you have with Alabama? And I guess A&M's in there too.
A&M is certainly in there, and then of course you've got the Florida contingent. They're ranked number 1 in the country right now, and you got LSU that's ranked, I think, moved up into the top 4. It's just a meat grinder of a meat. It's just one of those things. So A&M will be a factor. Nate, what was the question again?
Just head-to-head, like we're in Alabama and any particular events where you all just feel unique.
Well, we're gonna go head-to-head in the 1500, the 5,000, the 10,000, for sure. Obviously, the sprints as well. We can't go head-to-head with them in the throws, but we can in the areas that they're strong in. They've done a really good job in the distance races lately. So, we feel like we're pretty good there also. So there's where we're going to bang heads.
What else Cale Wallace going to run?
Cale will run the steeple, and he'll come back in the 5,000. So last year, as you recall, he was second in the steeple. Got on our top 10 list, and then came back and scored in the 5,000 as well. He's been a little dinged up. He's had a calf issue. We haven't. We think he's going to be 100% for this weekend, but he's just a great competitor. Might have put him in the 10,000 as well if his calf wasn't giving him an issue. That's the kind of kid he is. But we're not gonna triple him. I think the last time we did the 10,000 steeple 5,000 was Scott McPherson. That helped us win a SEC title my first year. Did a phenomenal job. So he's not quite at that point, but we feel like he can score heavily in the steeple in the 5.
How critical is it getting on the podium in every event that you're in to try to win this title?
Well, it's extremely critical. Like I said, all hands on deck. If you look at our indoor team, I think out of the 27 athletes that we had, I think 25 or 6 scored. And so it's going to, we hope it's that close that it comes down to a couple points. So it's going to be critical for us to maximize every athlete.
How many are you taking outdoors? How many athletes?
30. And I think right now, correct me if I'm wrong, Joy, but I think when you go to the first round of the NCAA championships in 2 weeks, I think we're in 40 40 qualifications now, not 40 athletes, but probably in the mid-30s, low to mid-30s. So, so we get the personnel. This meet, it's about competing. This meet's about racing, and we get so caught up. I mean, we've had a lot of discussions over the years with how you get to the national championships and you get there by individual accomplishment, individual qualifying. And so we focus so much on getting guys qualified. We go to California, we're around at Stanford, go to take the sprinters to Baylor where the conditions are good for the winds and all those types of things for the sprints and jumps. But now what it comes down to is just competing, and it's racing. And I think we do a pretty good job of that. I think our kids can compartmentalize and forget about, hey, you know what, I'm qualified for the most part. Just got a few athletes that have to get it done this weekend, but to really round things off. But I mean, I think we do a good job of racing and competing head to head, and that's what this meet is. And man, it's such a conundrum to go from one continuum to another, going, chasing times to beating people. They're two different things. Running a time trial and racing are two different things. You got to be good at both. I always use the Indianapolis 500. You do a time trial to get your pole position, or to who gets the pole position and what place you get on the line. That's kind of what track and field is. You're trying to get as many people into that race and towards the front as possible, because that's your best chances to win. But now it's head-to-head competition, and we got to, and that's why I feel our guys, from Kenzo Cotton to Cale Wallace to everybody in between, Clive. These guys if you go to practice, they're great competitors, even in practice. And so that's what we have to. That's the difference, and that will be the difference. Who can compete the best head to head, and who can race and compete head to head the best when we get there.
I know SEC titles are of extreme importance here, but when you win a Triple Crown in the conference, what does that mean for you, for the program?
Well, it accomplishes our goal. Look out on the board, and I know I bring this up quite often, and I should. It's about Triple Crowns. It's about being good in every sport you compete in, and like I said, not many programs are doing that. That's what we're trying to do. And if you look at the John McDonald Program of the Year award, I think we might be in first place, or I think we're in first place as we head to the national championships. And we missed that. We scored a lousy 9 points last year and got beat by Oregon by 1. And so that trophy is hugely important to us as well, because it signifies what we're trying to do. And Lance is doing the same thing, does a great job, got a hell of a program. And so but it's the hardest way to go. It's the hardest row the hoe, and we're trying to get that done. So it means a lot if we can pull it off.